Well, son, I'd be most intrigued to find out what your thoughts are on the movie, because that does strike me as being enjoyable. I'm looking forward to it myself. Have to say. Another late one. Must be Tuesday. Too busy watching Casper's site reacting to ghosts. Well, hello and welcome into this Tuesday's entertainment news. I was about to say movie news. It's not movie news anymore, it's entertainment news. I am John. I am here to discuss the latest happenings in the world of, in this case, once again, Hollywood. There is no music news, there is no gaming news that's piquing my interest. I look as though I'm too far over. My dog's lying at my feet. He's not, my feet aren't facing 90 degrees to the right, he's actually lying beside me, so it's making it a very precarious shifting of the seat indeed for my dog, not for me. Yes, and that's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. You're probably away by now, the time I've been fucking about, but yeah, not my most 10 of my most anticipated movies. It's not in my top 10, I should say, most anticipated movies of this year, but when I seen the trailer I was intrigued by it, most certainly intrigued by Nicholas Holt's presence, but first and foremost, very intrigued by Nick Cage's performance as Dracula. When you combine Nick Cage and his sort of penchant for eccentricity and how he makes that work in movies, then you combine it with fucking Dracula. It's a match made in heaven. You know something good is going to happen, at least in his performance, if not in the actual movie itself. Yeah, as you can see, I'll try and bring it up. Headline of the show, it's all about Renfield. Renfield reviews praise Nick Cage's Dracula. That light is going to blind me. If I stay in front of that light for more than 20 minutes, I will probably face permanent vision loss in my right eye. It is so fucking bright. I may actually turn it. Jesus fuck, it's bright. So bright, but this room is so dark without it. The main light is not working. There is one small light over there. It's like Emperor Palpatine's throne room. It's like a fucking Morlock's paradise in here. You then combine these momentous ring light and a big softbox light that's on. I feel like fucking Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong back in 68 they were supposed to have went on the moon. You're still here, getting ready to leave shortly. I hope it's good. I like the premise. I do like the premise as well. I like the trailer, man. Really enjoyed the trailer. Enjoyed the vibes, enjoyed the humour, enjoyed the sort of foreboding of violence. And just these two unlikely bedfellows, Holt and Cage, combining. The reviews are in. I'm going to read some of them. Hopefully I don't spoil anything. You'll probably disappear, sin at this point. What the fuck's happened there? Pressed the wrong thing. That's what happens when you don't use the stream deck. It's in front of you. Instead you use the manual scenes at the side. It would have been so much easier just to do that. Press it with a finger. I can look into the camera when I'm doing it, if I'm actually on it, which I'm not half the time. Incidentally, I have drank way too little today. I'm going to sound like a 90-year-old woman who has 100 a day cigarette smoking habit. Voice is already in a sugly peg, and I'm about to start speaking. Renfield reviews to do, they praise the comedic gore and Nick Cage's stylish Dracula. Now, it's not all fun and games, not all praise. There is some dissenting voices in there, and I'm going to go through some of them. Ryan Northrop is the guy who has penned the article. I don't really give a fuck about his words. He could be an AI sort of agent at this stage, let's be honest. Everything's just going that way. Guys like poor old Ryan are not going to have a job soon. When the chat GP, fucking whatever the hell it is, GTP, I don't know, when it takes over, everyone's screwed that's in this industry, unless they are really good. Kirsten Lopez of the Raps, she is the first person to give her thoughts on Renfield, and this is what she had to say. Renfield is at its best when it's focused on the eponymous character and bad Drac problem. Cage and Holt recreate scenes from Bela Lugosi's 1931 feature with such a striking attention to detail you would believe they, Holt especially, had been in the film all along. this is what happens when you have got a lover of film. Thanks for coming in, son. Appreciate it. Enjoy the film. I wish I was going to see it instead of sitting here with my dog who has I'm going to say it again, a penchant for flatulence. I never used to say penchant, I used to say penchant. But I've since discovered that is the correct way to say it. Penchant for flatulence. He likes to fart, and a lot. I'd rather be in, well, saying that, you go to a theatre, there could be fucking people with penchants for flatulence in there as well, let's be honest. GPT. Is that what it is? I've no idea, man. Chat GPT 3.5, I don't know. They'll be taking over the likes of Kirsten's jobs shortly. But this is what she went on to say. This is, and as I did say, this is the best thing. When you've got someone, a Coppola no less, Nicolas Cage, who is a real avid film fan. He has a real breadth of knowledge on the history of film. He will have seen Bela Lugosi's 1931 feature film. He will know the intricacies of that movie. He will have worked closely with the directing, the creative team to make that movie. In some places at least, probably not a bit for bit from remake, but he will have obviously tried hard to recreate some of the scenes. That's where it pays off when you've got a guy like that involved. He's a figure of fun now, Nick Cage. But the man is a serious actor. He's an Oscar-winning actor, and he knows the industry. He knows film every bit as much as the likes of a Tarantino. So he's treated like a joke, but he isn't a joke. In the modern world, she continues, Holt never goes for an imitation of original Renfield actor Dwight Fryer, so eschews the original character's madness for more sadness and desperation. Got that in the trailer. Very desperate and sad individual. He's a victim of abuse with no idea who to turn to, and that's outside the fact that he has lived for hundreds of years by providing victims for a literal vampire. When's the next Punchayet? I can't see it. Episode coming out. You like this season better, in my opinion. I certainly do like this season better, Binary, if that's what your name is. I'm struggling to see it from here because of this enormous ring light that is currently raping my eyeball. I'm enjoying it better. We're 5 episodes in to season 2. Are we 5 episodes in? There's 3 up. I think we're 5 episodes deep. More than halfway through the second season. I'm going to be editing episode 4. Next one will be coming out tomorrow. I think probably 12 GMT. Or whatever the fuck time zone we're in just now. Is it British summertime yet? I think it may be actually BST. I'd have to search that up. 12 o'clock our time. I don't know what the time difference is between the United Kingdom and India. Presuming you're in India. I think there's quite a difference. So, same as today's episode. It'll be coming out tomorrow. We're staggering it. We don't want to put too much out too soon. It may fuck the algorithm. YouTube, Google may not promote the second video quite as well. It didn't seem to do damage to our Family Man Season 2 double header. Sort of last episode reaction. But nonetheless, we're just going to go one a day. But enjoying it. I'm enjoying the show a hell of a lot. Love the characters. Love the setting. Love the cows, despite the sort of criticisms that was being thrown my way today in the comments about me disrespecting cows. We love our cows in Scotland as well. We don't treat them like deities, but we have got the Angus bull in Scotland. So I love everything about the show, man. It's been a real eye-opening experience. Didn't expect it to be anywhere near as good as it is. But by all accounts, that production company knows their shit. So it shouldn't be a surprise to people from the subcontinent, at least. Owen Gleeberman, getting back to Renfield, Variety, this is a dissenting voice, one of those dissenting voices that I spoke of. He said this to say, Renfield, though, has no mystery, no poetry, no grandeur. It's a scattershot lark jam-packed with ideas, none of which really take hold. Renfield embodied by Nicholas Hoult as if he were the Hugh Grant of the 90s playing a neurasthenic, I can't say that word, neurasthenic, I'm going to search that up. What the fuck does that mean? You learn something new every day. An ill-defined medical condition characterised by lassitude, fatigue, headache and irritability associated chiefly with emotional disturbance. That is the absolute perfect description of the Nicholas Hoult character. I've not seen the movie yet. I will be when it comes out. But from the trailer, he has nailed it here. Gleiberman once again, with his finger firmly on the pulse. A neurasthenic British pop star of the 80s, think Robert Smith and the members of Spandau Ballet. I don't want to think about that, mate, because I was born in 89, right at the end of that decade, and I don't remember it. I'm a 90s kid, so I don't want to think of the 80s. Neurasthenic sort of artists, singers, whatever. That's your era, Owen, and you stick to it, my man. Introduced as a 12-step meeting for people in codependent relationships. What's this guy talking about here? Relationships. And the film's overarching joke is that Dracula is an abusive narcissist whose power over Renfield is a form of gaslighting. Again, you get that from a trailer, but look, this is what it says, man. This is the most interesting aspect of this movie for me. The relationship between Renfield and Dracula, Nicholas Hoult and Nick Cage. You cast two men of that stature, two brilliant actors in these roles. They're going to do heavy lifting in this movie. The story is inevitably going to be centred around those two guys. I have no issues with it turning into a sort of codependent relationship and him abusing it and being narcissistic. That's what I'm going into the theatre to see. That's the vision that's been sold to me. So I don't take that as a negative. I don't take this as a negative. The no poetry, no grandeur, no mystery. Again, I don't know. Simplicity can be good at times. Liz Shannon Miller, Consequence, never heard of it, but we're going to get our words anyway. While fondly remembering Universal's failed effort to create an MCU-esque franchise featuring its iconic monsters is always a great deal of fun, there's another reason to be glad that nascent cinematic universe didn't go off the ground. It probably would have prevented the making of Renfield, directed by Chris McKay, and based on a story by The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman. The new Universal film proves to be a glorious, violent and thoroughly enjoyable action comedy with a bold visual aesthetic that loves colour as much as it loves seeing a person's insides on the outside. Fucking love that line right there. Loves colour as much as it loves seeing a person's insides on the outside. I love vibrant, zany aesthetic movies, and I love violence. I love gore in a film. So this is, and I love Nick Cage. I've been very vocal in my appreciation of that man and his acting career. This is the movie for me, man. I love The Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman's there. His sort of overseeing creative forces there. I get the feeling this is going to be the movie for me. I says at the start, Sin, I disagreed in your assertion that this could be a top 10 most anticipated of 2023 movie. I'm getting the feeling it may be for me, sort of posthumously. I'm not dying, hopefully. Hopefully nothing to do with this movie dies. But I mean after seeing it. It may be, it won't be my most anticipated because I've already fucking seen it at that point, but it may be one of my favourite movies of the year. Lord knows. We've got a man who does writing at times. He does a lot of writing for himself. He's got a lot of shit going on. He's a brilliant writer, Gianni. He does top 10 lists of the year, and a lot of the times a Nick Cage movie is in there. One of his zany, more artistically, maybe eccentric movies is in there. Is this going to be the one this year? Time will tell. Kim Newman, Empire Magazine. It's a horror comic orgy of gore. Fucking love it. With any number of bad guys torn to pieces, but occasionally pauses for poignant moments about the life Renfield has lost by submitting to his master. And unusual spins on vampire lore. Cage, who ate a real cockroach while starring in Vampire's Kiss, has obviously been waiting for this gig all his life and chews every morsel given him. But Holt and Aquafina's in there as well. What do you want in life? Give the movie heart. Aquafina, Nicholas Hoult. Nick Cage is playing Dracula. Do you need any more? I ask ye. I'm going to speak like an old English guy. I ask ye, pray tell. What more does one need? I didn't realise he ate a cockroach, but it doesn't surprise me. Look, this is why I want this fucking guy to play Egghead in the next Matt Reeves Batman. He loves film, he loves comic books, and he gives 120%. I know that's not possible, because you can only give 100, but he gives, if it's sort of there's a word they always use in American sports to describe someone like Tom Brady, for instance. I can't remember the word. He gives those sort of... it doesn't matter. He gives more than 100% anyway. Renfield is releasing on the 14th, isn't it? Last movie I watched was John Wick 4, was really good. Last movie I seen in a theatre was also John Wick 4, Binary, and I really enjoyed that as well. Stephen, I don't think, has seen it, so we've not done a review. And the last time I did a solo review, it was a fucking painful experience, not just for me, but for the unfortunate people who actually watched it. I am incapable of keeping my views succinct. I like the sound of my own voice too much, even though half the people watching this channel can't understand me. And that made for a painful experience. It was El Camino, a Breaking Bad story. I reviewed it. It was dreadful. The edit was shocking. It was just fucking ghastly. So I didn't bother reviewing it, but I loved John Wick 4. I've loved all of John Wick movies. Some of the Paris stuff was just phenomenal, man. The stuff in that building where it cut away and the camera was moving around and extravagant rigging. Brilliant. The staircase sequence, the Arc de Triomphe sequence, just sublime. Stuff in Japan was unreal. And Keanu's he's born to play that role. Just like Nick Cage is potentially born to play Dracula. I don't actually know when it's coming out, but I will be there. I'm not going to see this one in IMAX like I did John Wick. I'll just go to a regular view screen of this movie. But I think that'll be enough. And you know what? I almost want that. I want the smallest fucking room possible. Like the one I went to see, Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson's amazing stop motion animated movie. There was like 2 rows of seats. Seated like 25 people. It was brilliant. There's something about intimacy with a movie like this. I feel that it's going to be the cherry on top. Moira, I'm just going to skip you because I hate that fucking name. I can't say it. We're going to Casey Chong. We'll do Casey's Movie Mania. Wow. We've got Empire. We've got fucking Variety. And we've got Casey's Movie Mania. And just because I like the name of that sort of blog, I'm going to read Casey's review. Heads rolling, limbs flying, guts spilling, you name it. It's like a free flow of extreme gore and violence. And McKay, however the fuck you say that name, doesn't shy away from executing them as graphically as possible. The action is thrillingly staged to both visceral, however you say that, stylish effects as we see Renfield dispatching the bad guys using his super strength like nobody's business after swallowing a bug. That was a way too long sentence, and now I understand why Casey Chong is writing for Casey's Movie Mania. There should have been at least one comma in that sentence to give me some respite while I was trying to grapple around words like visceral and thrillingly. It's 10 to 12 at night here. It's been a long fucking day. I've barely drank anything today. I'm borderline dehydrated. You're flinging me under a fucking bus here, Casey. Please use a comma. Please use a comma. I implore you. Your reviews are getting picked up with Screen Rant. You're on a bigger stage. Do better, or the AI will fucking replace you. Imagine a John Wick movie, but done in a highly kinetic, gory horror style, and you'll get the idea here. Look, I'm getting the idea. I'm excited for it, man. Really looking forward to this movie. Really looking forward to it. I loved the trailer. I didn't even know that Nick Cage was in a Dracula movie. I didn't know that Awkwafina was in there until tonight. I didn't know Nicholas Hoult was in there until I seen the trailer as well. I loved the vibes of the trailer. I loved the humour. I loved the visuals. I loved the costume design. Who doesn't want to see Nick Cage levitating with fangs and an immaculate red velvety fucking sort of dressing house coat? I don't know what you'd call it. Gentleman's jacket. It's like a smoking jacket. The type that, I don't know, King fucking George would have used back in the day when he was having a cigarette and killing himself. Who doesn't want that, man? I'm all there for it. Incidentally, Rotten Tomatoes, 74% from 27 reviews. I think that will go up. Well, looking at, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all top critics. Moira's in there again, incidentally. She rated it rotten. I knew I should have ignored you, Moira. Owen's rated it rotten. I actually trust Owen Gleeman. I think he's a good artist. He's a good critic. I can never say that word now. Critic. I can never say that word for some reason. It's like I'm having a stroke when I try to say it. And yeah, there's some top critics, and yeah, 27 reviews, 74%. I think this can get into the 80s, maybe high 70s. That's strong for a movie like this. It's looking good. Yeah, Japan scenes were lit. They were, weren't they? The nunchucks. The nunchucks? What the fuck? The nunchucks. The nunchuck stuff are brilliant. H2O. Let's take some in. The nunchuck scenes were amazing. Donnie Yen having some, I think, soup or noodles or something. Well, all hell was breaking loose. The little motion detecting things with the doorbell. Just really well thought out action. And you know when you've got Chad Stahelski in there, a man who's from that background, stunt choreographer I think back in the day, or coordinator. You just know that something special is going to transpire when that man gets together with a budget the size of John Wick 4. The running time he's been allowed to present to the audience, and a who's who of just amazing actors. Scott Adkins was fucking great as a big fat German guy. Donnie Yen, amazing action star, actor. Keanu Reeves, man's a god amongst men in that genre. And there's a whole host of other people just floating around in the shadows. Really enjoyed the movie, man. There's going to be a topic you can cut here, because I've ran out of time. I've spoke too much. I'm 23 minutes in. I didn't expect to be talking this much about fucking Renfield reviews, I'm not going to lie. I'll briefly discuss this, or very briefly, then I'll end with the Bob Dylan one. What about the Pope's Exorcist? I think I'll go and watch it tomorrow. I don't know anything about that, man. I'm not going to lie. The Pope's Exorcist. That rings a bell. I think I have seen something about that. The Pope's Exorcist. I'm going to search that up. I've just misspelt that horrendously. And you know what? I don't even care. I genuinely do not care. The Pope's Exorcist. Bring it up, please. Who's in this? Oh, Russell Crowe. Yeah, I have heard about this. I have heard about it. It's getting alright reviews. Seems to be decent. I'm all in for the sort of horror kind of movies. I fucking love them. I'm still searching for one that will give me the fear as an adult, like Tim Curry did to me as a child in that It sort of TV movie. That man invaded my dreams like nothing else. He haunted me throughout my formative years. I'm waiting on something to do that to me again. Nothing has succeeded to date, which is why I'm watching the likes of Casper Sight, reacting to Nook's top 5 paranormal stuff. I love this shit. I watch this at 4 a.m. when I'm in my bed in a pitch black room. I'm unwell at times, I really am. His It Man movies and John Wick had me pumping. Yeah, Stephen I think reviewed the It Man movies. They're fucking epic movies. Donnie's an absolute superstar. I love the guy, so cool. And just a brilliant character. What they've been doing in the John Wick franchise in terms of establishing mythology, dense characters and sort of just mythos has been sublime over the last 2-3 movies. And they've really, with the likes of the common character, Donnie Yen, and a couple other ones, they're effectively giving you spin-off movies. And I think it's clear we're going to get a spin-off movie from the post-credit scene with the Donnie Yen character. He ain't getting killed with that young girl, the daughter of the Osaka Continental sort of owner. She ain't killing that character, man. I forget his name now. What was his name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. What was his name then? I can't remember it. It'll come to me. She ain't killing him. He will have his own movie, and he deserves it as well. Super Mario Bros, man. Super Mario Bros it's succeeding, if I can say it. My first picture is a director, and you know what? I actually kind of liked it. That's Stephen King. For those who don't know, he directed one movie, Maximum Overdrive, and it flopped badly. This man attacked Stanley Kubrick back in the day for his adaptation of The Shining, and he did a promotional video, clearly drunk. The man was an alcoholic, he admits it, troubled. Allowed him to give some brilliant books to the world, some epic stories, but he was a drunk, and he was clearly drunk shooting this promotion, and he was slurring his words. I'm going to scare the hell out of you. So that's what I was doing there. I was doing Stephen King. It wasn't intentional. I just slurred my words. It's been one of those kind of days. Certainly over the last hour. Super Mario Brothers movie. It has box office records have fallen. I think it's the best performing movie in the box office of 2023. To date, there is some big movies coming out. It will be beaten, inevitably. But I'm fucking glad to see this, man. I've not been to see this movie as of yet because of the negative Nancy's moaning about it. But then you go into Rotten Tomatoes and it's doing very well with the general audience. 96% rating, 57 from the sort of snobby critics, and that's been reflected, that sort of viewpoint from the general audience in the performance of the movie. As you can see, $204 million domestic, that's the United States, and it's approaching $400 million worldwide. So it's making very good money, man, approaching $500 million. This is a fucking animated movie, and I think this is now firmly one of the most successful animated movies in terms of box office cum of all time. It's Illumination Studios, it's Chris fucking Pratt, he likes a Seth Rogen in there. I'm going to go and watch this fucking movie, man. I want to see it. I was excited for it when it got announced. I liked the vibe, I grew up with these games, man. This was my era. Mario 64, Super Mario on the SNES, all the Mario games on the Wii, the fucking GameCube. I've been a huge Nintendo fan my entire life. So this is for me. I'm the key demographic, so glad to see it's doing well in terms of box office, not just for the movie and potential future spin-offs, but for Chris Pratt, who is a genuinely, thoroughly decent guy, and he gets way too much shite online for his political persuasion. So what, he's a Republican, who gives a fuck? As long as he's not bringing those views into his working life, who cares? You think Wick died? I don't know, man. No, he didn't die. Absolutely no chance. That tombstone is representative of the man who's been chased across those 3 movies outside the original. That's a representation of him. It's almost like a sort of Christ-like figure. He's been crucified, he's been put in his sort of sacrificial tomb, then the boulder's going to be moved aside and he'll come back out again, reborn, a new version. That's what I believe anyway. There's no way, absolutely no way, that Keanu Reeves is going to step away from John Wick. This man was talking about doing these movies indefinitely as long as the audience wanted it. He ain't going nowhere, man. He will continue doing more, and he deserves to do more. I've seen people that even I know saying, why is this man continue to do this? It's getting beyond a joke. He's too old now. What's going on? How have they expanded this out over 4 movies? The movies are fucking brilliant, man. They're epic. They're pure action. Pure cinematic action. You go in there with a large bag of popcorn, a huge drink, and you just sit back and enjoy yourself. Your eyeballs get assaulted with incredible visuals, cinematography, whatever you want to call it, for 3 hours, 2 hours. Who the fuck doesn't want that, man? Who doesn't want to see a guy ripping doors off a Mustang and just fucking drifting around the Arc de Triomphe? Dogs are flying through the air, bodies are getting hit left, right and centre with cars. That's what I go to the cinema to see. And you'll continue giving us it, and I'm fucking wanting it. The movie it's Super Mario, actually. It's Super Mario. It's doing very well at the box office. Very well indeed. I'm going to end on this. Bob Dylan. Big fan of Bobby. Or Bobby, as he once showed up as in my Apple Music for some reason. B-O-B-Y, Bobby Dylan. He's never went as that name in his life, but it did show up in my Apple Music as that for some reason. So someone at Apple has got a couple of questions to answer. But the biopic that's coming out, it's starting its filming this summer. Now, I normally wouldn't pay much attention to this because there's been way too much musical biopics happened over the last few years. I think off the top of my head, Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody, there's been a couple other ones. Some shite David Bowie one, unofficial movie. There was another one recently, Whitney Houston one, didn't see it. Been a lot of musical biopics recently, and this could have been one too many. This is a very complicated figure. Bob Dylan, huge career, 50, 60 years I want to say. The only man I think to have a number 1 in like 5 consecutive decades. try to tackle that man's life in a 2-hour movie is impossible. But what got me intrigued was Stephen actually speaking about it last night in the show, that it's Chalamet, Timothée Chalamet, who is coming on board to portray Bob Dylan. Not just that though, it's James Mangold who's directing the movie, which I didn't even know about. This man is just finished doing Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny. He's doing a Star Wars movie, potentially 2. But in between that, he's doing a fucking Bob Dylan movie, and it is starting filming this summer. That got me intrigued. I then read this article, and the time period it's going to be fixating on has definitely got me intrigued, because it's going to be titled, potentially, it was originally titled Going Electric, now it's a complete unknown. It's about him going into the sort of electric guitar phase, and the absolute vitriol and hatred and blowback that created for Bob Dylan. The man has got balls the size of fucking grapefruits, if that's even the right, I don't know, melons, watermelons. He didn't care. He was a visionary from the very start, an unbelievable writer. That's why the man did get a, what was it he got? He got an award, didn't he? And there was blowback for that as well. I'm blanking on the name of it. The scientists get it, Nobel Prize for writing. And people were criticising it. Why is this singer-songwriter getting this award? Don't you know that there's other individuals more worthy out there? Well, yeah, I think he refused it. But needless to say, he's always been a fucking visionary artist. And much like a really good football manager, let's say an Arsene Wenger, and an Alex Ferguson, a Pep Guardiola, I'm just going to use a football analogy, they know when to start changing things. They know when to break out of an old cycle and go into a new one. That's how they get success. Bob knew how to get success in folk by using an electric guitar, and he knew the precise moment to fucking do it. And that's what this movie's going to be covering. It's going to be covering that period when he does transition over to an electric guitar. I think it's when, like a Rolling Stone, releases and he starts touring with a band. I cannot wait to see this movie now, man. I'm really intrigued by it. I think Chalamet's fucking epic, an amazing actor, the actor of his generation. And what intrigues me more is him playing Dylan, because in my mind, he's always been this generation's acting equivalent of Bob Dylan. Bob didn't come from New York. He came from Duluth, Minnesota, and moved to New York. He was adopted into the New York scene. Chalamet is from New York. He is a part of that artistic sort of West Village, I think, scene. So they both came from the same sort of foundation in terms of New York education. He will understand the environment that Bob Dylan was sort of baptised in, the folk music scene in New York. And that's why I'm excited about Chalamet playing it. He's a lot fucking taller than Bob, but he's got the hair down, and apparently he can sing. As you can see, I think August this year will start, of course. Timothée is singing. There's not a lot of news about this, but what a fascinating time period to focus on. I'm going electric, and people just absolutely going after him. A lot of fucking blowback from his so-called friends, people attacking him. He wrote songs about these people, how they would love to see him paralysed and stuff like that. So that's a fascinating time to dig into in a little biopic movie, and you've got some really supreme talent in front of and behind the camera working on it. Chalamet, Mangold. I'm sure the writer's good as well. I hope it's as good as Bohemian Rhapsody. I really liked Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm not a huge Queen fan. I like the hits, but I really did enjoy that movie. And your man Rami, I was aware of Rami since The Pacific. Brilliant actor. I think he was in that other one, wasn't he? TV show. I'm blanking on the name of it. Stupendous actor, and I just thought they nailed that vibe right up until the sort of bandage stuff at the end. It was a really good movie. My one criticism of the movie was it did gloss over the more debauched side of his personal life. The man was a hoorer and tourer. He get right in about it, and he never really showed his warts and all. It was a little bit airy, but it was a good movie, man. Probably the best of the recent sort of musical biopics. I think you need to go back quite a fucking bit to get one better. Maybe the Doors one from the 90s with Val Kilmer. I'm done, man. It is 12:07am here. I'm finished. I'm going to go and edit Punchayat episode 4. So that's sitting in the can, because we will not be doing it tomorrow. We may be filming one tomorrow, but we're doing The Mandalorian tomorrow. So I need to get it out of the way. I want to stay ahead of the game so that there's a constant stream of episodes going out. And I enjoy editing it because I get to watch the show again one last time. And I'm really enjoying the show, as I did say. It's a fucking really well written show. I was listening to the theme tune today. I was listening to the little song. Really enjoying all aspects of the show. But I'm done with this show tonight, this stream tonight. I need to start calling it streams. What is your thoughts on Renfield? What's your thoughts on the reviews? What's your thoughts on the praise of Nick Cage? The praise of the gore, of the colourfulness, the dissenting voices in there, maybe try to throw a spanner on the works. Shout your thoughts down below about that. But Chalamet playing Bob Dylan, it being set when he goes electric. Thoughts on Super Mario Brothers, doing very well at the box office. Anything you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon on YouTube to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Same thing over on Twitch, follow button, notifications button over there. Also have to be said is thank you to everybody that was commenting. Actually, Binary, Sin, hope Sin enjoys Renfield. If Sin comes back in afterwards, please, if you're listening to me speaking, share your thoughts, man, about the movie. Should I go and watch it? Is it as good as it looks? I'm intrigued. Until next time though, man, I am done. Bye bye. That was the most brutal attempt there at pressing a macro manually whilst trying to look at a camera that you will ever see on YouTube. God awful. Bye bye.